up, world? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we are reviewing a new episode of Bleach: The 1,000-Year Blood War. This particular episode was cool. It was cool. I'll save my initial thoughts and just say it was cool. This particular episode starts off with the last part left off with the Captain Kurotsuchi fight with Pernida, and we see Mayuri just busting out in extreme laughter as he believes he defeated Pernida, and just starts gloating on the different choices that he made to create his new Bankai, how he created it without teeth, so he could devour Pernida whole and not have to bite him, or not have to chew him and allow Pernida to multiply. And next thing he notices that there's something wrong, and you start seeing his Bankai get attacked from the inside until it actually explodes. And then once it explodes, you see Pernida in there with his bow drawn, and you hear his voice kind of modulate. And through the process of this episode, you see him absorb different things, and you notice that his voice starts to modulate with the different things that he absorbs, as well as the different abilities that he has access to modulating as he absorbs different things as well. But once he breaks out of the Bankai, Kurotsuchi just really becomes curious as to how he's going to function. He starts dodging the arrows that Pernida's shooting at him. He dodges one, and then Pernida uses a nerve to redirect. He notices that Pernida actually has nerve endings attached to the ends of the arrow to control them better, and then he also uses the nerve to redirect the arrow to try to catch Mayuri off guard. And Nemu, which is his lieutenant, or Nemu, which is his lieutenant, actually saves Mayuri at the last possible second by catching the arrow and then ripping her arm off so she doesn't get taken over by Pernida or absorbed by Pernida. And Mayuri just kind of fusses at her. He's like, yo, who told you to do that? She was like, well, clearly you kind of needed help. And he's just like, well, I didn't command you to do that. Next time you shouldn't be so reckless. If I didn't give you a command, don't come out here. And then we start to get more background on Nemu and Mayuri's kind of relationship, and just kind of Nemu's upbringing just through the whole process of being created by Mayuri. We get to see her backstory and how Nemu, his full name is actually Nemuri, and she's actually the 7th rendition of this experiment, the Nemuri experiment, that Mayuri had came up with to create pretty much artificial life that could pretty much not necessarily that could pretty much upgrade is stuck in my head, but for lack of better words, upgrade itself, evolve. He wanted to create artificial life that could evolve, and he finally was able in the 7th rendition of the experiment to create Nemu, and we get to see his research team, a part of the research division, just working in the lab, and we get to see Nemu spending a lot of time with his third seat and just kind of communicating with him and trying to figure out why Mayuri calls her Nemu instead of Nemuri, which is her name. And he's just like, man, I don't know why he do it. Like, I don't know how to hog tie people. Like, it's pretty much his answer to the whole to her whole questioning, because he's like, bro, I don't know why he chooses to do what he does. I'm not him. If he ain't gonna tell you, he dang sure ain't gonna tell me. So it's like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? So you just get to see that backstory, and we see through the process of the fight, Mayuri's continuing to dodge Pernida as he's shooting different arrows as Pernida shooting different arrows at Mayuri. Mayuri's dodging it and just getting out the way, and he pretty much sends Nemu on a mission to give Pernida an age, like pretty much inject one of the arrows before he detaches his nerves from it. to inject it with this nerve agent that he has that'll pretty much kill Pernida from the inside out. So she ends up being able to do so, and it looks like 2 out of 3 of Pernida's duplicates end up getting destroyed, or so we think. Or no, it ends up getting destroyed, and then we see Pernida getting attacked by the same nerve agent, and we think it's about to take him over. Then he rips off his thumb and pretty much breaks out of it, of the nerve agent, and kind of flushes it out of his system. And it just seems at this particular point that all hope is lost for Mayuri. And we just see through the development of the battle, just him trying to scramble and think of things on the fly. And then Nemu comes back and sees that not only did the nerve agent not work, but Mayuri's kind of in a bad spot. So she actually upgrades and evolves in that moment, and pretty much shoots off to save Mayuri. Saves him. He gets upset, scolds her again. He's like, where did this power come from? She was like, I don't know. I just kind of evolved in the moment because you look like you needed help. And so I wanted to help you. And he was just sitting there like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe you did that. And then she proceeded to use a certain amount of percent of her soul's essence to destroy Pernida. And she thinks that's what she did. It looks like that's what she did. But unfortunately, as her and Mayuri continued to discuss things, she unfortunately did not. And Pernida mounts his counterattack and ends up destroying Nemu. And then as he destroys Nemu, you see Mayuri just kind of like be in a state of shock. Like he's just shocked at what is transpiring. Like it feels like he's losing the fight. It feels like all hope is lost because Pernida is not dead. He healed himself and he's now on the attack. He just killed Nemu. And we just unalived Nemu, and he's just kind of in a state of shock. And we see Xyloparo just kind of come in his imagination and just pretty much taunt him for like, hey, you claim to be this great scientist, but you pretty much are being outsmarted by this Quincy, and just kind of joking on him and laughing at him. And it was just kind of an interesting moment because it's like, of all people, Xyloparo. But at the same time, he clowns Xyloparo in their fight back in Hueco Mundo of just not being a good scientist. And so it was interesting that now the tables have turned based on his current situation and this current battle that he's struggling in, or at least appears to be struggling in. And then right when he gets to, it looks like he's about to get to his breaking point, or he's about to get killed, about to get unalived by Pernida. He pretty much destroys the imagination of Xyloparo, pretty much destroys him. And he's just like, you're right, I shouldn't be down in the dumps about this entire situation. And he starts to remember what's going on, or what he pretty much has instilled in Nemu. And Pernida begins to devour and absorb Nemu's body, and Mayuri takes a look. He was like, yeah, go ahead and eat her. And then grabs her brain. He was like, you can have everything but this. And of course, Pernida is just sitting there looking like, all right. So he's devouring Nemu. He finally devours everything. And as he's devouring it, all of a sudden he can feel that something's not right. And then Mayuri goes into this deep explanation of the different things that he injected and created Nemu with. And it's like, pretty much her body has the ability to regenerate and regenerate the cells. However, without her mind intact, they just infinitely regenerate. So if the mind's not intact and not a part of the regeneration process, it's not controlled. And because it's not controlled, it ends up just pretty much infinitely expanding. And so it does that, and pretty much it explodes Pernida from the inside out. And so now Pernida is defeated, and we see Mayuri has successfully defeated one of the Shunsui, and Pernida is no longer with us. Shout out to Pernida. And we see Mayuri try to escape the battlefield with Nemu's brain, and he ends up stepping on one of, I believe it's Pernida's nerve endings, and of course it ends up paralyzing him, so he falls out. And he's like, "Oh shoot, now I'm nothing. Now I'm over here looking like Zaraki." And I was like, "Dang, you ain't had to shoot at Zaraki like that. He been out of commission for a while." And Yumichika and Ikaku actually find him, and they rescue the captain and pretty much carry him to safety. And he pretty much informs them of this device that he brought with him that carried the pods of like Hitsugaya and Quincy, and it was a few other captains that were zombies. And he's like, the restoration process should be good for them, so they won't be zombies anymore. But you could put me and Kenpachi in there, and it should be able to help restore us and heal us. And so they do that. They rescue Hitsugaya, they rescue Quincy, and whoever else was in there. And he pretty much just sits there, and he kind of takes a minute to just bask in his victory. It's just like, I can finally gloat to Kisuke that I'm a better scientist than him, because I created artificial life that can evolve on its own. And he's like, the next time I see him, I'm gonna brag about this. And so it's just like, at the end of the day, bro, you almost lost your life, and you over here licking your chops. Like, you over here bragging about how better of a scientist you are than Kisuke. I just thought that was funny and just so true to Mayuri's character. It was just funny to me. And that's pretty much how it's low-key pretty much how the episode ended. And then we get that's how that fight ended. Then we get a look at Bazz-B and the crew as they're trying to pretty much confront YHWACH, and we see YHWACH has the Quincy guard around him, and so we see Toto and the zombie girl pretty much just taking out the little Quincy guards, and we see Toto chopping off their heads, and then their heads transform into, it looks like the same thing that's over Bach's face. Their head kind of transforms into that, and they come back to life. And Toto and the zombie girl are just kind of like, "Ooh, I don't know how we gonna get out of this one." And that was just interesting. And then we see YHWACH having a conversation with some of the Quincy guard who were following Uryu and kind of keeping track of his whereabouts. And YHWACH's like, why is Uryu over there? He shouldn't be over there. What is he doing? And just still being super untrusting of Uryu. And then right when he sends the guard off he said, just stay close with him and keep an eye on him. Before they could even leave, Bazz-B takes each and every one of them out and pulls up on YHWACH, and YHWACH is just like, "What are you doing?" And Bazz-B is just like, "Shouldn't you be asking why am I still alive? Considering y'all left us?" And you just kind of see the tension in the air between them two. So it looks like we'll be getting Bazz-B and YHWACH sometime soon. Hopefully we'll get to see that fight. And then the episode pretty much ends from there. And the poem for the next episode sounds like it's in the now. So it sounds like we're going to pick back up with the Shunsui fight with Lily Bottle and see what's the results and what's the progression of that fight going to be next week. So this particular episode, it was a very nice conclusion to everything that transpired in Mayuri's fight. Just how he went about it, how he didn't necessarily overpower Pernida, but he outsmarted him. And even when he looked like he was about to lose, he still outsmarted him at the end of the day and remembered what he had created Nemu and what he had put in Nemu and how he created her, and just snapping back to his senses before it was too late. I really like how they portrayed Mayuri's character in this particular episode. So for me personally, I'll probably rate this episode, just like I said, it was dope to kind of see him flex his brain more than flex his muscle, because Mayuri is the scientist of the squad. Like, he's the mad scientist of the 13 Court Guard squads. And so every one of his fights are always him outwitting his opponent. So it's never something of him like overpowering his opponent. It's always him outwitting his opponent. And so to see it's kind of funny when you think about it, because he low-key gets overpowered in almost every fight that he has in the Bleach anime. Like when he fought Uryu overpowered him, but he outsmarted Uryu and was able to escape. When he fought Zalaparo kind of overpowered him just based on his techniques, but Mayuri in the end outsmarted him and was able to defeat him. And yeah, it seems like every fight that Mayuri's in, he never overpowers his enemy. He always outsmarts them. So it was interesting to see that they continue that trend here. And it was just dope to see it executed well, especially against one of the Shutstuffle, being Pernida. And so it was dope seeing this finally animated. So I'll probably give this particular episode like an 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5. It was really good. It wasn't a 10 for me, but it was definitely an 8.5 as far as just everything that transpired. So I'm really looking forward. I like how they reintroduced Hitsugaya and Kensei into the mix. Can't wait to see them get on the battlefield and see their fight. Can't wait to see Kenpachi return. It's gonna be interesting. Soy Phone's still alive as well, so I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with her, because in the manga at this particular point she was not a part of the crew. So I'm interested to see how we go about this. But yeah, man, let me know in the comments below how you feel about this particular episode of Bleach. Do you feel like I'm tripping? Do you feel like my rating's a good rating? I gave it an 8.5. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like it's higher? Do you feel like it's lower? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you felt about this particular episode and how you feel about the third core of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War up until this point. We still got a few more episodes left. It's 13 episodes of each core, and I can't remember what episode number this one is, but I know we only got a few, maybe 5 or 6 episodes left in this particular part of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. So I'm excited to see where they're going to end off at, what fights we actually get to see finished out, and just how we go about finishing up the 1000 Year Blood War. Hopefully there'll be some new fights and some new story told as well, and just a few things changed from the manga. So far so good. So I'm interested to see what Kubo has up his sleeves and what the animators have up their sleeves as far as everything. But let me know in the comments below how you feel about it, and don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. Likes and shares are very important. They help push the video up in the YouTube algorithm, and when a video gets pushed up in the YouTube algorithm, it gets pushed to different audiences. So we're trying to grow this community, man. Love talking about different aspects of nerddom, whether it be anime, whether it be comic book movies, or comic book shows, whether it be music, just a lot of different facets of nerddom. Tap in with your boy. Stay tapped into the channel. Hit that subscribe button so that way you can be subscribed to the channel, so that way if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified anytime that we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in with your boy, stay locked into the channel, and never forget, it's free show to the show free. We trying to build community here, man. So tap in with your boy. Let's get it.